G'day everybody, welcome back to Rolling Around New Zealand. This is episode number 8. Let's get into it out in sunny Rolleston. Woof. Alright guys, so today we are here in Rolleston, which is about 15-20 minutes drive south out of Christchurch CBD, and we're here at an Axis affiliate here, and the head coach here is Dan Sainsbury, so he's a good friend of mine. We used to train together, awesome guy, so I'm really excited to go see his gym today, so come along for the episode and we'll get into it. Woof. G'day everybody, welcome back to Rolling Around New Zealand. So we're here in Rolleston at the Axis affiliate, and this is Dan Sainsbury here, and he's the head coach here. So yeah, get us started on how you got to where you are now and where you began.
Yeah, well, I started Jiu Jitsu after I finished uni. So I was down in Dunedin for university. I was studying physiotherapy, and as you do with uni, you put on the fresher 5 or fresher 25 or whatever it was. It was a lot, but I got my first job in the metropolis of Palmerston North, and I managed 9 months up there. But when I was up there, I was looking for something to do to keep me fit, and so I walked into the fight shop at Palmerston North, and I started kickboxing there. And then they obviously had jiu-jitsu classes there, and I thought I'd jump in on one of those. And they were sparring for a rear naked choke, you know. And for whatever reason, you know, maybe it was just I didn't really understand what the fuck was going on. But we were trying to just escape from a fully locked-in rear naked choke. And I didn't know anything, so I just had this choke on this dude, and I was just squeezing for like my life, you know, depended on it. And the poor kid was trying to get out, and I think he just didn't realize what was going to happen. He just went straight to sleep. So I heard him gurgling, obviously, and I think this is a little bit weird, and then I let go, and his legs are going, and I was pretty freaked out, obviously, initially, but then I was like, man, this is pretty powerful stuff. So I started doing a bit more training there, and after Palmy, I moved down to Wellington, took a job in Wellington, and I started training mixed martial arts down there at Lockdown under Gareth, which was good fun.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was good fun.
Gareth Ely, or was
No. I can't remember his surname now.
Oh, yeah.
But
So wrong person.
yeah, but big, strong dude, really nice guy, really good bunch of guys. And I was doing that probably. They're affiliated with GSW in Wellington under Jeff Grant, Will Machado School up there.
Oh yeah, they're awesome, mate. That's a good school.
Yeah, really good guys. And I'd go to GSW and train there as well. And I was doing a lot at Lockdown, and then I realized that I was kind of starting to skip all the striking classes and just go to the wrestling and jiu-jitsu classes, because you know, you don't want to get punched in this beautiful face too often.
Yeah, we modelling careers out, eh?
Yeah. And it was just, I just didn't really enjoy the striking. I was didn't like getting punched very much, as you do, and so I just started training more and more jiu-jitsu. And then I stopped going to Lockdown, just went to GSW under Jeff and Pat there, and I went from, I don't know how long I was at white belt. I say 4 years, it could have been 4 years, it might have been even longer, I'm not even sure. But I was a long time a white belt there, and got my blue belt and my purple belt under those guys. And I think I moved down to Christchurch then, maybe 5 years ago or so. Took a physio job down here, and started training at Axis when they were still on, down in Wainoni, essentially, in the upstairs location above the fight centre. So that was good fun. It was a bit of a change of pace though. The game style was very different there than it was up at GSW. Yeah. So I found like I got down as a purple belt, and I was getting minced by blue belts just because they had a totally different style of game. Like you were there, you know, there's all sorts of shit going on. I was like, man, I'm fucking terrible at jiu-jitsu.
Oh, no, definitely it's those moments. Like,
yeah.
It's always a bit of it. I suppose you have a bit of time off or whatever, and it's like, and sometimes you come back into a new situation, but it doesn't take much to catch back up, eh?
No, it was just like that different game style, eh? Like you guys were a lot more like closed and like pressure style. It was much more sort of open guard and kind of that sort of stuff at GSW, so it was a really different game. But I adapted to that and stayed at Axis, and then I opened up this place just over a year ago, I think, in Rolleston. We bought a house out here, and yeah, I set up this gym sort of with my Mrs. Maddie's knowledge, slightly maybe not without her knowledge to a certain extent, but just trying to get a space to train, because you know, we were out here, it's hard to go to work, go to training in town, and then come back out home. So I wanted something a bit close by. So we started in the primary school, picking up the mats, mopping the mats, putting them back down, you know, a few nights a week. And then now we're in this beautiful sweatbox of a garage, which we've been in here since April, I think.
It's awesome though.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, and that's the hardest part, eh? You've got to start somewhere. That's what everybody doesn't realise. You start somewhere, but then you just grow, and it's amazing, super cool. We space, it's all about jiu-jitsu, they're all into it, eh? That's all you need, eh?
Yeah, all the guys and the girls that come here are really into it. We sort of try to build a good culture, you know, like a learning type culture where they come in, they're really interested and figuring shit out and working through stuff. And we've got all sorts, from small guys to big strong dudes, girls, everyone comes in and has a good time.
Yeah, everybody's super friendly tonight. And it's funny you say with Patrick at GSW, funny enough, one of the students, Joseph Greenslate, he's there now, and Patrick was messaging me the other day. He's such a nice guy, and I even remember meeting Patrick when he was competing as like a purple belt in Melbourne, like he was at Pampax, and I met him, and he was a beast back then. And he's got Tidy Jiu-Jitsu, and then he was good mates. I think him and Cam were good mates, and they used to compete against each other. But it's such a small world. But it's a good school at GSW, amazing.
Yeah, and Pat's actually set up his own school up in Wellington now called Workshop, which is a really good school. We're sending guys up there, and to GSW, to Jeff, and they're both great schools.
And because you've done a bit of competing, bit of this, bit of that, and so going back to that, so did you enjoy when you used to compete back in the day, that sort of stuff, or more?
No, I fucking hated it. I really hate competing.
The club.
Yeah, really hated it. I mean, I always enjoyed it afterwards. I didn't like the build up to it. And actually, I found it easier to compete when I was doing other things at the same time. So it's easier when I'm coaching people or reffing, and then it's like, oh, you've got a match. It's like, oh, sweet, just jump on the mat, and you don't have to kind of stress or worry about it. I was never a good competitor. I'll compete, a few times a year, and I'll still keep trying to do that. But I was never a great competitor. I definitely lost more than I've won. But I hated the build up towards it. Just hated the build up. That was the worst bit.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's like you usually feel sick all day, and then I don't eat anything. I used to just eat nothing, and it was like, it's a bit build up at some places, but once it's done, it's like, and you usually hang out with everybody, it's a good time. But I've noticed tonight, amazing teaching. So I've seen your Facebook, you put up, you do lots of blocks and really sort of intensified the training, and I've felt, because there was a couple of people tonight I rolled with that have only been training a few months, they're moving well. I was impressed. It seems to be that everybody you was teaching some pretty technical sort of stuff, and the whole class were getting it, and I was quite impressed. So is that how are you sort of doing that with the new ones?
Yeah, it's I've sort of tried to set it up in a way that we run sort of modules, is what we would call them. And we're trying not to make them last too long, maybe 4 weeks or 6 weeks on a specific topic. And that's on the Monday and the Wednesday. And the Tuesday and Thursday, now that Ezra's not teaching on those days, we do a similar thing. But I think the main thing is that we don't do any boring warm-up stuff. We just get straight into it, really. I've had a few guys ask lots of questions about that, and I kind of just say, well, you're paying me to teach you jiu-jitsu, I'll teach you jiu-jitsu. You want to do push-ups, you can do that. Come early, I don't care, you can do them. But we start off with our warm-ups, and the warm-ups are kind of an easier version of our positional sparring. So people get a lot of work out of just getting into the position, just trying to stay in it like we did tonight. And then we go into a few more specifics, but we don't spend too long with that. And then we do a good 20 minutes or so of positional sparring at the end, where we have an aggressor and a defender, and there's some constraints around that, so that the person who's kind of trying to do the technique gets there eventually, and the guy on the bottom or the top dials up and down resistance based off of that. So what you'll find is that some of the guys that have only been doing it for a couple of months have a lot of experience in certain sort of, mini games in jiu-jitsu, whether that's, the recent module, guard passing, or the module before, sort of open guard stuff. They'll have a lot of experience in those areas, just because half the class is spent just meeting resistance with that.
Yeah, and you're forced into it, because I think that, because we get a bunch of a few of the boys from Stephen Booth's gym coming up, and he does a lot of because I was down there and talking to them, he'll put them in the same position, get them to take the back, and they'll be there for an hour, swapping every 5 minutes. And I think what you're doing here is the same, and it's starting to make sense now that you see results real quickly with people. You're sort of what these people are doing. You look around, the students are doing stuff that's quite advanced. Jiu-jitsu's obviously developed a lot since I started, but it's crazy to see how quick they're learning.
Yeah. I remember my first jiu-jitsu class with Jeff at GSW, and I think it was in the gi. I'm pretty sure they were doing some sort of spider guard inversion into a triangle, and I just remember being in there going, I didn't even know how to like turn on my shoulders, you know. But you would do the techniques, and then it would be like rolling, and you know, being on the slightly smaller side of the human race, I ended up just getting smashed for like, you know, an hour and a half, which I loved, right?
Yeah.
I really do enjoy getting smashed, but at the same time, it doesn't lead to like a quick progression with things. Whereas if you sort of forced in and the other person's got constraints around, well, you're not allowed to close your guard. You know, you've got to just work retention. You're not allowed to grip them. You just got to frame, that sort of thing. It makes the person on top have an easier time to get the moves going.
Yeah.
So that they get more and more used to that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I noticed that today. It was like, yeah, you're specifically saying to people like, let them get it. After 20 seconds, they should have got the pass, and I was like, that's really good. So, yeah, I was super impressed. It was awesome. And then, yeah, so you're doing no-gi and gi. So you're doing a couple of days of each. Is that?
Yeah. So we do gi Monday, Tuesday, no gi Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday is a bit of an eclectic day. We do like a beginner's class, which is always no gi.
Yeah.
And then we do a stand-up wrestling judo class. I'm terrible at judo, so it's mostly wrestling, so that's no gi as well. Yeah. And then we do leg locks after that, which is obviously no gi as well. And then we roll, so it just tends to be no gi. And so it was meant to be a 50-50 split, but it's probably more like a 70-30 maybe now towards no gi. Yeah. It's definitely my area of preference. I definitely prefer doing no gi, although after summer camp and learning from like Cam and Ben and Ezra from town in the gi, I sort of got a little bit more inspired to play a bit more gi stuff, so maybe that will change.
Yeah, those boys are super talented in the gi. I'll eventually get there, which is going to be quite painful. I get a hiding in the gi.
Yeah,
it's good fun.
Yeah,
but yeah, they're amazing. Ezra and Ben amazing, and Cam as well. It's crazy to see how far Cam's come, but yeah, it's cool out here. And yeah, so you still keep in touch. You go through back to Turum and that, and like catch up with everybody at Hayden and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah. I pop in occasionally, not as often as I like to. Obviously, I've got 10.5-month-old at home as well, and I'm here every night now teaching as well. So it's hard to get into town as much as we want to. But yeah, when I get in there, it's always good training. And a few of the HQ guys come out here as well, because obviously HQ is a little bit more, I guess, gi oriented. You know, they only have the no gi with Sam on the Friday. So some of the guys come out on like tonight or Thursday to come out and get a little bit more no gi in as well, which is good. It's good to have people, you know, crossing over from Kaipoi to town to here and being able to, you know, move through the gyms like that. It's really good.
Yeah, it's awesome. And so what's your plan going forward like? Obviously, yeah, Rolleston's growing that. And what's your plan going forward? Where do you want to end up? What's your goal? Just keep
training. Yeah, just keep training. Yeah, I'd like to get to a point where we can get a little bit of a bigger space. Like it can get, you know, we get 25 on the mat here. It's absolutely packed. So I'd like to get a bigger space at some point, but COVID's obviously been a bit of a pain in the butt with that as well. So maybe we'll just hold off for the rest of the year and look at it towards the end of the year. But other than that, I think just get better at teaching. Like you know, I keep saying to the guys, you know, we're trying to spend a bit more time watching them rolling as well, so they can give some personalized feedback as well. I think that's something that, you know, you kind of miss out on in gyms sometimes, that you kind of get lost within the mix of it, and you don't kind of get that feedback of someone actually watching you roll. And so it's a very self-reliant sport in a lot of ways. So I'm trying to be a little bit more towards that coaching angle rather than just instructing. You know, I don't just want to teach technique, roll with everyone and go home. I kind of want to spend a bit of time with people to get them better as well. And I think that's probably what you're experiencing as well, is that some of the guys are, you know, developing that feel much sooner because I'm kind of on their back if they're doing, when I'm watching them roll.
Yeah.
And actually, this is where you should be doing it. Yeah.
It's a hard balancing act, eh? It's like, find that perfect thing, and you want to, but I think if you're always hungry and you generally like are searching, you know, to always give people the best, and you generally do care, I think it always shows through. And you're like, and I suppose even if you are rolling, it's always having something to aim to, and like, and you know, everybody wants a challenge, and you know, nobody wants it going easy. So I suppose it's like, it's getting that balance between rolling hard and then also sitting back and spending some time with people and trying to give them as much attention as possible. It's tough though, because you get dragged so many different directions. Somebody will be like, hey, there you go, and then you're talking to them, and then you get dragged off this side, and this, I need to do this, and you go there and there. So it is tough. You do feel like rude at times, but it's not. It's just that you're so busy, eh? But
yeah, Yeah.
if you give, I suppose 5 minutes doesn't take much just to be like, hey, you going there, but it's cool.
No, and like on Tuesday, Thursday, I bring the baby along as well, which is limiting because obviously she's 10.5 months, so she's not super self-reliant at the moment. So I'm wandering around carrying her, but it means I'm watching them, people roll, and you get that kind of external viewpoint as well. We've got a GoPro setup as well, so we record like the techniques and stuff, and that all gets put up on the website for the guys and girls. And we also record rolling, so if someone wants to record a roll, they just go over to the camera, hit the button, record the roll, and they can always watch it back later. And so can I then as well, and give some feedback, which is always a good way of doing it. Is good.
Yeah, and it was amazing. Your teaching was really good tonight. I was super impressed. So I think you're running a real good thing. Everybody was super friendly. I completely and utterly enjoyed my time here. So tell us how to get here. What's the address? To get here?
Yeah, it's out the back of the I Zone in Rolleston. So coming out of Christchurch, turn right off the motorway. It's Unit 12, 35 Illinois Drive. Big garage door. Generally, if we're here, the door's open and you see all the blue mats, so you can't really miss it. Training 6 days a week. I'm here sometimes on a Sunday doing private, so just pop in if you want to drop in. It's all good.
Definitely get down, guys. Had a ton of fun tonight, and we'll watch right through and you'll see it all. Get down here, try it out, and thanks so much for having me, man.
Thanks for coming, man. I appreciate it. Yeah.
No worries. Thanks heaps. Woos.